Welcome to our episode number 3 of Conversations of Red Tantra with Sukkamielli. It took me a couple of weeks before resuming this podcast. Unfortunately, I got affected with the storms in Dallas a couple of weeks ago. Nothing major, but it definitely broke my routine. I didn't have power for a few days and obviously no internet with it. And it just took me a little bit to get organized and do a few repairs that were critical and just to be able to sit and have this conversation with you again. So today we will be talking about the different layers of the body according to Tantra. So let's begin. So according to Tantra, the body is a temple. And when we refer to the body, we really are not only referring to what you see on the mirror. We are more than the flesh. And we are more than the physical sensations, our thoughts, or our emotions. The goal to recognize these different layers in the body, which in Tantra are known as Koshas, is to identify where we are in our journey so we can eventually achieve the ultimate goal of Tantra, which is to sit in the essence of the self. Your awareness within your awareness. So we are fundamentally spiritual beings. Our true essence, which in Tantra is known as the Atman, or true essence, is covered by various layers or densities. Think of this as those Russian dolls that are contained one within each other. And in order to access the tiniest doll, you have to peel off the bigger ones. The coverings of our body are organized in 5 layers or koshas. The word kosha itself translates as a covering or sheath. These 5 layers include the physical body or the Annamaya kosha. The next layer is the life force energy, also known as the Prana Maya kosha. The following layers are mental body or Mano Maya kosha. In a more subtle level, we have our discriminating body. In Tantra is known as the Vijnana Maya kosha. And the last layer is the layer of bliss, pure joy. This one is known as the Ananda Maya kosha. So I explained that the word kosha means layer, body, sheath. The word Maya has 2 translations in Sanskrit. The first translation is made of, or something that consists of. As in this particular case, a layer that is made of. So for example, the physical layer, which is the Annamaya kosha, could be translated as the body that consists of our physical form, our flesh, our internal organs, our bones. The second translation of Maya is illusion. Each layer is just an illusion or a false identification from our true essence. We are conditioning to look at the mirror and assume that what we see in the mirror is the essence of who we are. According to Tantra, the body is only a vessel that contains our essence. In Buddhism, the body is considered to be just a garment that eventually wears off and gets sick and ultimately dies. However, the part of us, the true essence inside this garment, inside this flesh, never dies. It just transcends. So let's explore today the concept of these koshas so you get a good understanding of why this is important in your tantric journey. The first layer, or Maya kosha, your physical body. The word Ana means food, as the layer that is made of the food that you eat and becomes your physical body. And if you think about it, the food is converted into nutrients. It's turned into the plasma that carries the cells that rebuild our internal organs, our tissues, our hair, our nails, our bones, the bone marrow. So this food, or Annamaya kosha, greatly influence our perception because food has energy. Now, this could be a larger conversation based on Ayurveda principles. But for now, just know that you are what you eat. Food has energy. And this energy can become very activating, like when you drink coffee or chocolate, and then all of a sudden you start to become very jittery. It can be sedating, like when you eat, turkey, and you start to feel heavy. Or it can be very fulfilling and sattvic. And a sattvic food is that which contains the proper amount of energy that neither makes you too happy nor too sad. It's just center and neutral. We will explore more about those principles in subsequent chapters. The next layer consists of our prana and is called Prana Maya Kosha, which is the living energy within ourselves. The word prana itself means life force energy, and it refers to the vibration that circulates in our bodies, in our minds, and that keeps us alive and present. Think of this layer as the electricity in our bodies, as the flow of intelligence that activates movement and vibration. To strengthen this layer is directly related to your consistency on your daily Tantra practice. The next layer is the Mano Maya Kosha, or the mental body. The word mano comes from manas in Sanskrit. Manas means mind, as the body or the layer that gives us intellect and awareness. The first two layers are more tangible. You can touch your flesh, you can feel your body, you can hear your heartbeat. The prana, the vibration, you can feel it with some of the tantric practices as a tingling, as a vibration that comes from the feedback of your nervous system. The mind is a more subtle layer, the first of the three more subtle layers. Now, of course, we are thinking beings. We are also going to influence our mind depending on what you feed the mind with, what kind of impressions you put in your essence. And this will mold a unique understanding of our reality and the world around us. So you eat through your mouth, but you also eat through your senses. What you eat, smell, see, speak will create positive or negative impressions that are directly in relationship to the way you see yourself and in consequence the world. You know, we live in a very conflicted time. There is a lot of hate and resistance to accept change, not only within ourselves, but in our society. Your perception of your reality is directly conditioned by the stimulation you put in your mind. When was the last time you stepped out to smell your flowers, to say hello, or to offer just a friendly smile to someone you don't know, regardless of color or ethnicity? We are too conditioned to see and react. Purifying our Manomaya Kosha requires to start to put these positive impressions so that we see the world as a beautiful place where we are connected. The fourth layer is the Vijnana Maya Kosha. The word Vijnana refers to our ability to discriminate. This is the layer that helps us to differentiate this from that, past from present, right from wrong. This is the layer of the heart mind. The heart mind is the abode of the soul. We require consistency in creating a more subtle understanding of the world, free of judgment. So our perception gradually becomes more purified. Now, the last layer is the Ananda Maya Kosha. The word Ananda means bliss, and it refers to achieving a state of samadhi or pure joy. So this is the layer or the body that is just pure joy, is peace. And this is the body that persists even when I am not aware of it. The bliss body is capable to transcend space and time. Have you ever thought of a dear friend or someone you haven't seen in a long time, and all of a sudden you receive a communication from this person, or this person tells you, oh wow, I was thinking of you too. Well, that's the bliss body, your ability to send your vibration across time, geography, and even your ability to reconnect with those who are not physically in this world anymore. We get a good taste of this layer when we are deep asleep. Moreover, the tantric yogis formulated techniques to access this layer while we are in meditation and with the practices of yoga nidra. If you haven't practiced yoga nidra, I recommend you to go to my previous episode and download the practice. One of the confusions is to assume that the bliss body is the self. This is inaccurate. The bliss body is not the same as the self, but indeed the closest layer to the core of our true existence. So once we have peeled off all these layers, we reach the Atman. The word Atman means pure being, and it refers to the self within the self. And accessing the self is the ultimate goal of Tantra, whether you are in the red or white path. Both paths of Tantra convey in this common goal: to know the Atman, to recognize and experience ourselves as that ultimate pure being. Now, why we use the kosha? Why is this important? Because once you see these layers, we are able to recognize in which direction we are moving and what layer or layers require purification so that we are able to access the Atman. Purifying the layers is really not about dissolving them, but about making them more transparent and gain easier access to our pure essence. How are you doing and where are you going in your own kosha model? Are you stuck in your body, taking care of having an active lifestyle? Are you putting positive thoughts in your mind? Or are you heavily influenced by judgment? Are you making time and space just to meditate, just to be still? And when was the last time you created the conditions to fall in deep sleep? You know that insomnia is a critical disease right now, especially with the COVID. Sadly, more and more children are sleep deprived. The more we are able to procure personal space to nurture and purify all these 5 layers, the more we will accelerate our spiritual growth. So how do we do this? Where do we start? Well, here's where the practice of Ayurveda comes handy. Ayurveda is the sister science of Tantra. Ayur means the body, but really it means more like lifestyle, our existence. Veda means science. So Ayurveda is the Indian science that helps us to understand our condition and how to purify our body, our mind, and the different layers. In Ayurveda, there is something called Dinacharya. And Dinacharya translates as a daily routine. Because at the end of the day, we get conditioned by our routine. We all have a routine. Even those who lack a routine have a routine. The goal of Dinacharya is to peel off the toxicity that accumulates based on the food we eat, our activities, our speech, the sensory stimulation we receive, and the way we wrap up the day to prepare for a restful evening, a restful night. It makes no sense for anyone to start to do these tantric practices and visualizations and to learn all these concepts that are more dense about energy, and especially for those of you whose ultimate goal is sexual practices of Tantra for couples or even for the self. It makes no difference. You will go nowhere if your body is toxic. We will explore this on the following weeks, but today, what I want to recommend you is to begin your day with a prayer. Just put your hands on your heart the first time you open your eyes. As soon as you become conscious that you have waken up, don't get up from bed right away. Just take a moment and put your hands on your heart or as an offering with a prayer that comes from your heart. It can be as simple or as elaborated as you want. Someone asked me 2 days ago if I could talk about Tantra versus Christianity or versus organized religion. And here's the thing, Tantra is not an organized religion. Tantra can indeed be an excellent complement and an excellent tool for you to go deeper into your religious practice. You know, I was Catholic and Christian for a long time in the earlier part of my life, and I don't recall ever acknowledging God when I opened my eyes. Beginning my day with a prayer is now something that is constant for me, and when I forget, I just feel unease. I honestly kind of feel guilty if I forget to do the prayer in the morning. In the morning after you do that, get up from bed, put your right hand on the earth and just offer gratitude to the Mother Earth for carrying you that day, for supporting you, for giving you a foundation to begin your day. And then bring that hand to your head and be grateful for your awareness. And bring finally the hand to your heart again and just be grateful for accessing your heart mind. Additionally, I would also suggest to wrap up your day with another prayer, a prayer of gratitude for what you experience that day, for the people you encounter, good and bad, in your own words, to ask the divine to transform the experience, their actions in knowledge, and to free you from holding on to judgment or resentments, especially if it was a difficult day. Just finish your day with gratitude. And one more thing, you know, I always get requests from couples telling me that they want to come to see me to deepen their connection with each other and they want to take the relationship to the next level. Most of these couples have forgotten to acknowledge each other when they wake up and before they fall asleep. So for those of you trying to do Tantra to strengthen the connection with your lover, start by saying a prayer for each other's relationship. Don't be shy to express it out loud. Don't be shy to offer gratitude to your beloved just for being in your life, for learning and growing together. This has proven to soften conflicts between couples just by taking the time to acknowledge and give gratitude to each other. So with that being said, I thank you again for your indulgence and for having me in your ear today. If you would like to see these concepts and how they are spelled, please feel free to download the presentation for free at my website. Just go to www.dallastantra.com/bodies for those of you who are more visual. I will talk to you next week. Bye for now.